Hey guys, welcome to my first book review in which I attempt to hold your hand as we walk down the very dark path of monster smut. As you can see, I am deep in it already. Right over my head are some books by one of my favorite authors. We won't be talking about her books today. No, today our first review is going to be a book called Morning Tree Wood by Soggy. I was recommended this book on the Romantasy subreddit when somebody posted an Instagram screen grab of Groot art with the cover art of this book, and I was like, oh, I'm in it now. I have to know what this is about. So it's a relatively quick read. It was about 240 pages on Kindle, and it starts with a female main character who is in her 30s, which I love. Not everybody is a 19-year-old who marries a 500-year-old fae, you know. She is 30 minutes from walking down the aisle to marry a wealthy man that she met on a dating app. Right before she's set to walk down the aisle, she walks in on her 30-year-old fiance breastfeeding from his mother. Turns out the family is a bit of a lactation cult. You could say it's a family thing. They have plans for her to feed grandpa until she has kids of her own because grandpa's mother has passed. And that's how it goes. It goes the next generation down. Y'all, she still marries the guy because, you know, gunpoint. She can either die or marry the guy. She marries the guy, but immediately takes off running into the Swedish woods. Now, if you have ever read any sort of Scandinavian folklore, you know that there's monsters and carnivorous trees and what have you. Well, she encounters a carnivorous tree and convinces him not to drink her blood because he wakes up every 100 years and drinks blood and goes back to sleep, as we all do. You know, wake up, take a little snack, take a little nap. Everybody does it. So this tree wakes up and she convinces him to drink her sap, and she tells him stories to stave off her own death. So it becomes this sort of Scandinavian 1001 Nights Scheherazade style, but instead of a murderous king, you have a murderous tree. I'm still on board, 100% on board. It is a roller coaster of very well written smut that takes a lot of liberties with the identity of the tree. And I'm okay with that. I'm here for it. This tree eventually forms a mannequin, of himself so that he can continue to have a good time with his captive. And through her sap, he gains sentience. Oh yes, the tree gains sentience through his mannequin. It's glorious. I couldn't stop laughing, but also I kept reading. From here, more shenanigans ensue, more family members come out and find them. The tree takes care of them. The tree becomes very well fed on the blood of other family members. And it's also nice because, you know, with control over his branches and roots, bodies get buried and, you know, there's no evidence left. So it's great. From there, Bridie Poo goes back into town. The tree sets her free. She goes back into town and thinks that that's the end of things. Well, the sentient tree, not only now has an individual body for himself, Pinocchio style, but he somehow seeks his own soul, I guess. Somehow seeks his own soul. And now has a flesh body of his own, separate from the tree. The tree is still there, but it's no longer sentient. It's more of a husk of what he used to be. So Groot McEntypants now has his own body, Pinocchio style. He's a real boy. And goes and finds Bridie Poo. They're together and it's all wonderful. And she's like, oh, this is a fantastic, perfect relationship. It's too bad we can never have children. But wait, there's more because they can. He harvested her eggs while she was feeding him her sap. And he implants those now fertilized eggs into, I guess, semi-fertilized eggs into the weird culty Groom. Groom is now an incubator for the next year, but it's also sort of golem style because the embryos are semi-sentient because they're part tree, and they can control Groom Pants and get him to sign over his family's considerable wealth to the two tree children, the tree twins, Bridie Poo and McEnty Pants, have together. It is a happy ending, provided you're not in a cult. This book was a wild ride. There were trigger warnings at the beginning, but I wasn't fully prepared for the true depths that this book was going to dive. And I loved every minute of it. It was fantastic. So I highly recommend Morning Tree Wood by Soggy Shade. You can get it on Kindle, get the audiobook, buy a physical copy. Doesn't matter. Read the book. It is amazing. It is smutty as all get out. But please, please, for the love of your body, high grit sand your toys, ladies. Good God, you do not want splinters.